title is Gold. This is video 3, Rushing for Gold. We want to prepare for debate over the next few videos to talk about who's responsible for the craziness during a gold rush. Discovery value, deciding which words have value and which create conflict in presentation without a dictionary will develop stronger English comprehension skills to be used in the debate. The key is not to use a dictionary. It's easy to use a dictionary, but that takes a lot of time, and when you are preparing for debate or when you're in a debate and you're waiting for your turn, you don't have time to go to Papago and find the right definition. It should be already there, and if you're listening, you hear words, you need to write the word as you hear it, and also maybe a short idea about what it's about because of the context of what you hear. Now we want to read the story, and this story is a rewritten because of copyright protection, as we said in the disclaimer in the beginning. The URL will help you go to the story and see the whole story, and maybe it has changed from the original. We want to create an outline from the paragraphs. Make paragraphs from what you hear, but not just copy and paste, just not copying the story, but making it very small information bits so that you can easily remember and return back to it. That's what an outline is for. Long outlines are tedious, which make you tired and bored, but later they will save you time because you can find the information quickly and you can return to it. Which words follow the story and should be used in your outline? Using vocabulary in your outlines will strengthen the continued use of them. Use your vocabulary, highlight those which are important for your later argument. So when we make the outline, you want to create that idea. And so first the reading and the vocabulary, and then which vocabulary is important for you later when you make your outline. You highlight those as you use them, because there's too much vocabulary, and you want to use only the vocabulary that's important to your argument for the story. The URL is there, touryukon.com. You can go anytime and view it, and it may have changed, but the history is still there. Let's read together. The quest for gold is not a new idea. As people moved west, north, and south, there was always the dream to strike it rich. At different places and times in history, precious metals and gemstones provide an economic boost for struggling communities. Dawson was just one of these places. In 1896, some of these wanderers found gold in a tributary of the Klondike River. Many times gold will flow from these smaller streams and rivulets downstream to the larger branches. Due to the smaller areas and shallowness, gold is often left in the stream bed. Every migrant wanted a stake, their claim to land having access to good water source. Small communities were built as migrants often moved in groups. They needed access to base food items, which often took time. When hope is heightened with the discovery of gold, they did not need a cell phone to create a rush. People rushed to the hotspot, along with shrewd business persons who bought land cheap, reselling it at extravagant markups. As the masses moved north to Dawson, other major businesses were built to support them. This included saloons, sawmill, etc., turning the once Indian camp into a bustling shanty town. It took a year to get the message out, and a brutal winter before the rush began. Permafrost is hard to dig when you only have a pick and shovel. Those with deep pockets left with supplies on steamers up the coast. Others traveled with limited supplies, paying exorbitant prices for basics in Skagway. Skagway was a lawless town, was a stepping off point for steamers ready to steal fortunes coming and going. Many went overland, over treacherous mountain trails, dragging their meager belongings or adding a mule or a horse to the mix. With winter blocking mountain passes with snow, many wintered over en route. Businesses flourished for a couple of years, with growth outpacing space. This, in turn, created large tent communities, adding to the squalor and chaos. It was party time! Entertainers and seedy bar owners made the most of the madness. In 1898, there were several fires, which wiped out many of these quickly built businesses. Many had found the gold, but the fever took it all away. The majority left empty-handed, or with no more than they came with. Broken dreams left many behind to make a living. Panning Gold continued with partnerships, and new enterprises began. Order was emerging as Canada decided to establish Yukon as a territory. This gave power to the RCMP as a regional police force. The lawlessness previously experienced was in check, though not terminated by any stretch of the imagination. By 1899, the blind rush to find gold had left less of a shine. A new discovery of gold was made in Nome, Alaska, and the crazed minds moved on. With new technology to extract gold, mining continues. You can pan for gold today in the stream beds. Though rich you may not get, the experience of the first prospectors may be felt with each swish of the sand in the pan. Vocabulary is where many students struggle to grasp the story. They are seen as an inhibitor rather than a building block. They are blockers. Instead of building, they are stopping. That's an inhibitor. It stops the building. So, vocabulary, when you read the story, you stop for the vocabulary, and then you get bored because you don't read the story. Then it becomes an inhibitor. Read one shot. Don't stop for new vocabulary. Just read it. Look for, as we mentioned earlier in the previous video, read with a purpose. What are the goals? What are the pluses and minuses? What is the argument that they make in the story? What arguments that you can use in the debate at the end? Because that's what we are preparing for. As a prelude to this discussion, it is key to make groups engage the story in these two levels. The first is the link of words having a story. How do words affect the story? And you have paragraphs and definitions. You can talk about that. The second is an expansion to different words. So the words that you have, try to change them and see how they change the story. Does it make it better, worse, weaker, stronger? This connection will strengthen the arguments you make and build a foundation on which to build your arguments. Vocabulary is important for research. It makes it faster and easier. When you're speaking, you use specific words to give you that energy, the force, or the softness. Words change. And so if you change the words, how does it change the story? This is a vocabulary. Tributary, a small stream. Quest, desire for. Stake, a stick of wood used to mark a place or boundary. It's also a piece of an investment. So stake has different ideas. Shrewd, This is an attitude that carries the idea of deceitful, extravagant, extreme of something. Bustling shantytown. Bustling is to be busy, and shantytown, well, we'll look at shantytown. Oh, there it is. A town of shanties. A shanty is a poorly made house. So, you can maybe use ramshackle. Saloon, that's a bar. Permafrost is permanently in a state of frozen. Steamers, that's a large boat, not a rice cooker. Exorbitant, similar to extravagant, but the context is buying and selling, is exorbitant prices. Extravagant has to do with quality, not quantity. Meager is to have a minimum of something. Flourished, to do well or grow in anything is to flourish. The fever is not a disease, but a mental state. People went crazy. That was a fever. Order, not a word or number. To change the world. It's a rule of law. So when you have order, you have like systems. You have rules in check to put a set of boundaries. Pan for gold. Trying to find gold with a pan in a stream without machines. Swish, the sound of sand and gravel in the pan goes. Now you've generated ideas and you have strong links to the story. And as you outline, use the following to revisit the discoveries you have made. Remember before, in the first question, maybe you said nothing. What do you know about the topic? Nothing. Now you've read the story. You've looked at the vocabulary. Now what do I know about this topic? At least 4. You make 4. Your team of 5 makes 4. That's 20 ideas. Make sure you use your notebook. 4 ideas you found. Fill out and reflect the new ideas. And add more from your group. So this is you doing it, and your group will maybe have different ideas. Don't do this as a group. This is individual idea. Bring them to class and add some more. Now look at the answers. Fill out these ideas. Okay? This is in the book so that you can see. You put your 4 ideas, 5 ideas here. And you're going to reflect on these a little bit later as we prepare. So this week you've read the story, reviewed vocabulary. You write different definitions if you can. Don't use the dictionary. Just write different definitions. What do you think? How do you understand the ideas? You've expanded ideas to reflect what you read, and you want to continue to expand. Bring these ideas to class, have a great discussion, and then view the next video. See you there.